friends. Team Integrated welcomes you once again, wishing you all a very happy new year. So, today, our team member, Dr. Nirupama Agarwal and Dr. Aditi Rupani, are going to present a case with a difference in the sense that this case will be presented or through it has been solved through a pathological characteristics, and from that we have derived the miasm and also the sensations of a fungi. So we are presenting three cases. I welcome Dr. Nirupama to share your case.
Thank you, Kushala. Happy New Year, friends. And this is a very old case. And she had come with a postpartum depression. And she was referred by a physician, her treating physician, because physician's observation was uh, her child's weight is not increasing and child is very cranky. And because of that, physician felt that she should take some medicine for her depression. And as she was not responding to the medicines, she only sent her to homeopathic treatment. So history is like this. The patient is suffering as a known case of postpartum depression, and her child is 11 months old. But still, patient is feeling very, very low. And the moment she started narrating symptoms, she started crying, lot of crying throughout the case. And she said, I'm not enjoying my motherhood at all. My baby is very cranky. And on the top of that, child is not gaining weight at all. And this creates lot of stress in me. I get severe headache, crushing type of headache. The moment I return home, I get headache when I see my child crying. Along with that, I get lot of giddiness. And all this headache and problem increases with the light of the screen. Any type of screen, like if you watch TV, if you see mobile, everything gives rise to lot of headache. Little bit sound also affects her. And then it furthermore increases her anxiety. There is lot of loss of sleep. Patient is not able to sleep throughout the night. And her one very characteristic observation is her headache increases and her anxiety increases in the evening when day changes to night. So that evening, typically 5 to 7, is her aggravation time. And she says that dimness really bothers me a lot. It's a tough time to go through. Tell me something about your anxiety. So she said, there is so much anxiety and see how it is starting. She's saying, if something happens to me, who will take care of my baby? I'm not able to detach myself from my child. Anxiety, am I doing everything right for the baby? Am I giving my 100%? I feel I'm not able to meet the standards. If I do not get up immediately when child cries at night, I feel very guilty. I'm always worried about her health. She's very weak. She's not gaining weight, and that is bothering me a lot. What should I do? Lot of confusion, extreme foggy state of mind. My brain is not working 100%, only 40% output. That is affecting me. Lot of hopelessness. So, see, simple anxiety, but how it affects. What if something happens to me? Huh? And then complete hopelessness. Along with that, she said she had lot of fungal infection of the nipples throughout the pregnancy and after delivery. She was on alternate cycles of antibiotics and antifungal almost for 6, 7 months. And she had recurrent vaginal infection, which started after marriage, stayed for 2 to 3 years, and still it is there. She has a lot of itching, discomfort, and offensive discharge. And many times she used to develop a lot of UTI along with vaginitis. So what is the pregnancy history? She said there was bleeding in first trimester. And after that, there was continuous threat of miscarriage. That created a lot of anxiety in her. And then there was non-progressive labor. There was prolonged labor, but her contractions were not strong. So after 13 to 14 hours of labor, emergency cesarean was done. Generals were, she's a foodie type of person. She enjoys junk like fried, and she type of food is stress buster, and she feels better after eating. She feels mornings are very, very hectic. She has to work for 2 to 3 hours in the morning with the baby, and then she has to go to office. So by that time she reaches office, she feels exhausted and my brain is not working. So the cycle started with the exertion and it ends with exhaustion. So that is how patient is describing. Little bit about life space. See, patient was crying throughout the time and she was so much worried that whatever data I got, I just collected that data. So she said, I got married. It was a change of city. After that, it was a new job. And in few months, she became pregnant. And patient got stressed about it. Ki, it's a new job. What will happen? Whether I'll get leave or not. So the thought process started. And in first trimester itself, bleeding started. She has to go on bed rest for 1 month. And throughout that 1 month, there was continuous fear of losing baby. There was continuous fear that abortion will take place. And then there was fear whether I'll be able to form a bond with baby or not. There was a lot of insecurity that my bond with the baby will break because her work was also quite demanding. And when this was going on in her mind about uh, forming a bond with baby, fear of losing, and then there was continuous fear that I might lose my job. And suddenly she gets notice that uh, she has lost job. And it was so sudden news that she felt it as a shock. And she said, it's a total failure. Hmm? I could not manage. And see, from loss of job, she started feeling it's total failure. She was never been at home in the evening. After loss of job, what happened? She has to stay back at home. And then that evening time, she said, I have never seen it before. Because morning I used to leave home, it was bright sun. And evening when I used to come back, again there were bright white light. Because it was dark and everywhere it was bright light. So I have never seen that dim light of the evening. And that dim light started bothering me a lot. She said, I used to feel very low. अजीब सा feeling होता था. No work, no friends. She was new to the city, so there were no friends, and she was working also. So she said, now there is no work, there is no friend. I started feeling very lonely. And that loneliness, she used to feel there is sudden sinking feeling in her abdomen. There is sudden palpitation. Something is pulling inside and dipping of the energy, dipping of the concentration. See, all these words are very important. How she is describing her loneliness, sinking feeling, pulling inside, dipping of the energy, dipping of the concentration. And then there was breast engorgement, and during pregnancy, there was breast engorgement, and then she used to feel there is a lot of pulling in the breast. And after delivery, also, that pulling sensation remained. She said कि कोई अंदर से खींच रहा हो, that type of feeling. And then she started feeling कि there is no goodness remained in life. Nothing good is happening with me. I will always remain like this. I will not come out of it. Something severely wrong will happen with me. See how anxiety is increasing and how patient is going through a extreme anxiety. No goodness remained in life. Nothing good is happening. I will always remain like this. Something severely wrong will happen with me. I will lose all my near and dear ones, either my husband or child. Hmm? Nothing remains permanent. It changes to the worst only. It always changes from good to bad only. Good time never lasts for long. And again, she started crying very loudly. I do not have confidence in doctors at all. I do not have confidence in the medicine. And doctor, I'm very sure your medicine is not going to help me. And now she tells everyone. She tells everyone that not to marry at all. There is no fun in marriage. People who are married, she tells them not to have baby at all. Hmm? See how anxiety is affecting her. When she returns from office, she sees baby crying and she starts getting severe headache. She feels very anxious and gets very upset with all these things. Her illness and baby's problem, no weight gain. And child is also becoming cranky day by day. There is no weight gain. In all this process, her husband and in-laws family, they are very supportive to her. They keeps guiding her, helping her. And patient said, I get strength from them. All these words are important, getting strength from them. Then when anxiety comes, dipping in the anxiety is important. So remedy, you all know what I've given. It's Secale cor. We just understand the process, how I came to the Secale cor. So for me, the pathological characteristic was very important. The threatened abortion, first trimester, where bleeding started and patient went through a lot of anxiety and her anxiety remained throughout the 9 months that I will probably lose the baby. I will not be able to form the bond. So anxiety, continuous anxiety was there. Then if you see there was non-progressive, prolonged labor, and then she has to go for cesarean. And she always had this fungal infection in which she had very offensive leukorrhea. With this, when I saw the sensation dipping in the energy, sinking in feeling, pulling in sensation, I thought of the family fungi. And if you see, there was a lot of exhaustion. And patient said, I get energy from my husband. So this is important from where I'm getting energy and how I'm experiencing it. So energy to exhaustion. And then you see fungal infection at two places, like you see throughout pregnancy and after delivery, there was fungal infection of the breast. And then you see vaginal fungal infection. With this, I saw very characteristic syphilitic miasm, despair of recovery. Nothing good is remained in life. It is going to go to the bad only. So a lot of hopelessness that your medicine is not going to help. Nothing is going to help. It is going to go bad only. I'm going to lose everything. Fear of loss of job, then fear of loss of the loved ones. So if you see, it starts with what if something happens to me, to what if I lose everything. So that is how I could sense the syphilitic miasm in this case. And then you see a lot of important mind rubrics, which I saw retrospectively, but there was despair of recovery. There was fear of misfortune, losing of something of great value. This is a single remedy rubric, fear, misfortune, losing something of great value. So this I could come understand later. But what I saw when I prescribed remedy is the characteristic uterine symptoms, then sensation of fungi, and then the syphilitic miasm. For me, syphilitic miasm is very characteristic in this case, which took me to Secale cor. On repertorization sheet, when I took all these physical complaints, Secale cor came very strongly. Then I took this mental mind symptom also, where Secale cor is there. Hmm. So we understand syphilitic myasm in this. So it starts with, if something happens to me, who will look after my baby? Yeah. So see how with very simple things, I'm thinking extreme of losing, fear of death. And then that thought ends into hopelessness. Bleeding, which starts in first trimester, and then there was continuous fear of losing this pregnancy. And then it develops into no goodness remained in life. Nothing is good is going to happen. I will remain like this. I will not come out of it. Despair recovery of. Something severely wrong will happen, and I am going to lose everything near and dear. See, this is again syphilitic. Nothing remains permanent. It changes only to bad. Hmm? Only bad. Worst will happen. And do not marry, do not have baby. Such a syphilitic thought, right? So with this, I came to Secale cor, and if you see, there are a lot of other rubrics, very important rubrics of Secale cor, which you see: anxiety, abortion, threatening, fear, misfortune, losing of something great value, anxiety, death of, fear, death of, abortion in, fear, misfortune of, disease, impending of, mistrustful, weeping. These are very important retrospectively. You see, there is a lot of anxiety and lot of fear of losing. Death. That is what is the syphilitic myasm. And then these are the physical. Lot of anxiety, fear produced during pregnancy, continuous threat and bleeding, fear of losing job to fear of losing loved ones. And with that, loneliness came up, and then we gave Secale cor 200 weekly. Very short period, like because baby had come, baby was 11-month old, and now you see the follow on baby's birthday, that is after a month. Hmm. So after 15 days, if you see, first time went out of station. 11 months, this lady has not gone out of home. So first time she went out, no difficulty experienced. Previously used to feel very suffocated, but now I'm feeling much better. Headaches are much better. Only 3 episodes of headache in these 15 days, but intensity much less. No anxiety, no overthinking, and patient started driving. Light sensitivity better, sun sensitivity better. It's there, but it's better. See, husband's observation is so important. He himself said, patient is better, but doctor, even child is better. Child's crankiness has gone down and child weight has improved. See how your remedy helps. After 30 days, so after first birthday, patient said there are no headaches, no aggravation with any screen, light or anything. There was no sexual activity last 1 year, but now it has become normal. Now she started enjoying company of the baby. She looks forward to go home and play with the child. There is no anger, no frustration. And now this is my observation. Now I see a very happy mother, a happy wife, and a happy woman here. So that is what happened with 4 doses of Secale cor 200. Little bit about Secale cor we will understand. And here, if you see, the Secale cor came as a phasic prescription. If you see, Secale cor typically thrown symptoms from the pregnancy, and it uh, shown lot of Secale cor symptom throughout the pregnancy, after delivery, till 1 year, and then patient settled down. So many times this basic prescription comes at the epochs of life, no, like puberty, pregnancy, menopause. There are so many junctures where it can come up. So little bit about Secale cor. It's a fungus, uh, uh, and it's a plant fungus where there is a lot of theme of invasion, destruction comes. And there was observation, like when cows feed on this crop, abortion happens. A lot of abortion happens, and that is how the proving was taken. So that was the first observation. So where it helps acts, so this ergot directly affects the ovaries of the plant, and that is how it affects the yield. It gets infected, it affects the yield. The whole production goes down. Similarly, if you see it in human, it has a lot of effect on ovary, then vascular system, and on mind. Hmm. So all uterine symptoms which we see typically, that is there. Then a lot of gangrene we see, and a lot of depression and hallucinations are seen. Very characteristic physical symptoms are coldness of the skin. Cold is extremely skin, but not better by warmth. It needs cold. That is characteristic. Not better by covering. Very dark, thin, foul, and exhaustive discharges. Fear of death during abortions. Passive bleeding and discharges. Contracted arterioles. Tonic spasm. Severe itching of the genitals till it bleeds. Suicidal thinking, and usually suicide is seen through drowning. Female genitals, we see a lot of abortion, cessation of labor pains, prolonged labor, retained placenta, puerperal fever, prolonged bleeding after delivery, severe itching, septic abortion, and gangrene of the female genitals. So this is about sickle core, my understanding. Now I invite Dr. Aditi. She has two beautiful cases of sickle core. Welcome, Aditi. You have to unmute.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Nirupama, and welcome viewers to the new year to 2025. And yeah, so now after listening to beautiful case from Dr. Nirupama about sickle cor, quite holistic prescription, mind, body, everything. And now I will describe my two cases which I had treated long back in my practice. And here my focus in both the cases were more on physicals and myasm. So the first case, it was a 25-year-old female, and she came with postpartum psychosis, and she was brought by her husband, and it was only 6 weeks in her delivery. So delivery, she had delivered baby 6 weeks back, and she is feeling lots of anxieties. Unable to sleep and constantly crying, lot of weakness, no energy, and constant weeping. And she is breastfeeding baby once in a while. She is unable to breastfeed. There was no shortage of milk or anything. There was no drying up of milk, but she didn't feel like feeding her baby at all. She didn't feel like even keep taking the baby in her hand, whom she was longing for. It was not that the pregnancy was unwanted or something, anything like that. So but she doesn't want to hold the baby, and she would get frightened and disturbed if by baby's crying. She would say, take the baby away from me. I don't want to listen to his crying. I don't want to look at him. Take him from away from my eyesight. And she wants to run away even from the home. That much she was getting disturbed by baby. And she doesn't want to listen to cries of the baby. And she was, while narrating, she was constantly crying in my clinic. She said, doctor, how it is possible that a mother cannot feel anything for the baby? And it was not that I didn't want this child. Throughout the pregnancy I have yearned for this child, and now suddenly I don't know after delivery what has happened to me. I just can't see him. She says, why can't I feel that motherly love for this baby? I have been longing, and now I feel why I feel so dejected. why do I panic with his cries? It is normal for the baby to cry, and I should be able to handle it. I don't know why I feel so panic about it, and constantly she is weeping while describing all these complaints. And she has been on allopathic medicines after the 1 week of medicines because of her severe weeping and anxieties and depression postpartum. So it was treated as postpartum psychosis, but she was not getting any help with the allopathic medicines from the past 4 or 5 weeks, and that is how the case had come in homeopathy. Now, I didn't get anything much even in probing the case further and all. So I decided to go with more of the facts, whatever are available in front of me. So I just asked her about her pregnancies and menstrual history and all. And I got that she has always dysmenorrhea. She always had dysmenorrhea. And there were always little blackish flow in the menstrual cycles, and though there were no clots, just blackish fluid flow. And now also significantly the lochia had still continued even after 6 weeks. She had come to me after 6 weeks of pregnancy delivery, and lochia is still blackish and continuous flow, and she feels hot in her vagina. These were the physical symptoms I could gather from it. And there was one history of abortion in the 6th week, 1 year back. Okay, so now I prescribed a Secale cor. I had prescribed a Secale cor 1 m, 2 doses OD, and then I repeated it every week. I repeated 2 doses. No, first I gave BD 4 doses, and then I repeated 2 doses in the next week. And in 15 days, there were 15-20 days, she had completely become all right, and all her like maternal motherly emotions came back, and she started taking care of the baby, and she started feeding baby very well, and the whole problem got sorted. Now my prescription totality was, depression with anguish, rejecting baby. I felt very syphilitic kind of a feeling, where a person where a mother cannot feel anything for the baby. So this was a kind of a syphilitic phase, because overall there was nothing descriptive about syphilis miasm as such. But maybe this syphilitic phase had come in her life, where I needed a syphilitic remedy. uh, Blackish lochia, of course, past history of blackish menstrual flow, heat in the vagina, paleness, and all this led me to prescribe her Secale cor, and got a wonderful result with Secale cor. Now, I'll describe another case. That was a case of a 40-year-old male, and he had come with a diabetic gangrene on the this left toe, and it was quite bad. His diabetes was also completely haywire. Blood sugar was all remaining 400 plus, though he was all on on his regular anti-diabetic medicines and everything. And his gangrene was also like more than gangrene. I would say it was on the verge of going to gangrene, because a big abscess was there, and all the sides had started blackening very badly, and the discharge of the abscess was so very foul that when he would open his dressing in my clinic, it was difficult to sit in the clinic. It was that foul and offensive discharge was there from the ulcer. I had given 1 or 2 remedies, but it wasn't working at all. And then finally, on the blackishness of the wound, surrounded area quite becoming black and very foul discharges, I prescribed him Secale cor 30 every 3 hours. I prescribed him because it was very threatening situation with the very high diabetes and blackening of the wound, and also we know it is progressing towards gangrene, and severe pain it was. So I prescribed him Secale cor 30 every 3 hours, and he responded very beautifully. In 4 days' time, the discharge decreased almost to 75%. The foulness almost reduced a lot. The blackishness also started reducing, and I started seeing new blood supply in that area. the part had started becoming little warm, so it was a sign that the blood circulation is getting established. And then he got completely cured in I think I gave him continuous medicine for a month. Of course, then later on Secale cor reputation was reduced drastically. But this was my second my experience with Secale cor abscess, ulcer cum gangrene. And later on, when I understood Secale cor more in detail through mind and everything, after many years back, then I could understand that in his case also there was lot of problem with his mother. He's a married guy with a son and all, and joint family, living all one brother, and all are living together. And there was a very bad relation with the mother. Now, if we see, his gangrene or abscess was also on the left toe, which is a left side, which we say that it is a blood relation. And secondly, his mother. And as we studied Secale cor psychodynamically and mind ways and all, so we understood that Secale cor is more uh, uh, prescribed in relations with blood relations. Secale cor has more detachment, more problems, more indifference, anger, whatever we call, is more with blood related people rather than with spouse or other people. So here, and very retrospectively, I mean, after so many years, I could connect that yes, even this could have helped. Probably this was also one of the factor for Secale cor to help him so much. So these are two my experiences with Secale cor. And now I'll invite Dr. Shobha to throw further light on miasmatic background of Secale cor. Yeah, Shobha.
So, friends, as a homeopath, what we see is we have to be very vigilant about what our patients are presenting to us. And as we saw in Dr. Nirupama's and Dr. Aditi's cases, that there were a lot of characteristic pathological symptoms which were available. So, meaning we have to see what is characteristic in each case. In this cases, if the pathology is characteristic, then we have to pay attention to that. We cannot ignore and we cannot overlook seeing those pathologies. So when both the Nirupama and Dr. Aditi saw that these pathological characteristics were falling into the syphilitic miasm, and that is how it was predominantly syphilitic. All the cases were predominantly syphilitic, and that is why they also took the syphilitic miasm as one of the prescribing thing, into the totality. So that is how it is very important to integrate all these things, whatever is available in the case. Also, if we see that those cases which are predominantly syphilitic, we will see pathological symptoms coming up more and more into such type of cases, and we should accommodate those into our totality also. So with this lesson learned, yes friends, I will like to end this session. The way you all have helped us, motivated us, and given us a lot of compliments in our past year on our videos that we have shared with us, we hope that you will extend the same love and support of you in our coming years or coming videos also. Okay, friends. So with this, we take a leave. Thank you very much. Do share, subscribe our videos. Thank you very much. Friends, bye.
Thank you.
You.
Thank you.